today's video, we are going to talk about how there's additional stimulus check coming out this month, which is really good news. And we are going to talk about how the stimulus negotiations are back on, which is surprising because, well, we thought that we're all but dead. But we got good news there, and also the CDC new recommendations. Let's go to stimulus talk as of today. There are going to be multiple cities and states that are providing additional stimulus check starting this month. The reasons for this is because many states and cities have their surplus of cash, so they're looking at ways to provide for their presidents so that they can help them to president will get back on their feet and economic will continue to go up. There's a lot of states, a lot of cities are providing additional stimulus. First, we have the Florida. Florida is actually considering another round of $1,000 stimulus check to teachers and the first responders. Florida have already done this in the past, but they are considering doing again because, well, it got a lot of really good reviews. A lot of people loved it, probably teachers and the first responders. But then the other thing was teachers are now feeling more appreciated because of this $1,000 stimulus check that they received. In New Orleans, young adult aged 17 to 24, they're going to start receiving $350 per month for full 10 months as part of financial literacy program. Now, this is something that I want to bring to your attention because we have discussed this in the past, that Congress were actually looking into doing something like this. It came out of the House of Representatives. It ultimately went nowhere, but they were looking at providing high schoolers, I believe, with either $100 or $200 per month for their entire high school career, and that was going to teach them financially literacy. It's going to teach them savings and investing. It looks like New Orleans decided to pick it up in the New York. A one-time payment of $2,750 will be given to about 36,000 tourism workers. We're going to do it this way in Pittsburgh. 200 people are going to receive $500 per month for the full 24 months. This is actually part of their volunteer income program in Vermont. Vermont offering a stimulus relocation grant to anybody that relocates to the state on or after February 2022. This is gonna be for $7,500, but in order to qualify for this, you must become the full-time resident and you have to work for the qualified employer. This means you cannot just come in and say, I'm starting a new business, I'm an employee of this business. You actually have to work for an existing business in the state of Vermont. The reason for this is to get more people into the state so that can be more workers and so that the workforce actually increases and the economy continues to go up. That's the whole purpose. And in the Chicago, Illinois, the city is actually going to start sending out their $500 per month for their volunteer income program. This is going to go out of 5,000 low-income families. Now, I'm sure you are wondering why my city or your state isn't on there. Is there anything for me? Talk about what senior child matching is doing. This is interesting. Okay, this report came out just a short while ago. But Senator Child Manchin is back to negotiating the Build Back Better Act. Unfortunately, this negotiation is going to be quite different. Senator Manchin has already expressed his frustration, and he has been very clear with Democrats and President behind himself that he is not going to support the bill for the multiple reasons. One of which he said that he knows that the child tax credit payments will easily exceed $1.75 trillion, along because that's also what a CBO has stated to the Congressional Budget Office. He says the problem is there are a lot of different provisions within this bill that many Democrats want to pass, but if we include all of them, it's just way too expensive and we can't just cut them down. Now, according to our source today, Senator John Manchin is open to discussing climate and the child care provisions within the Build Back Better Act. But here, where things get very interesting, he wants to include pre-K. This is also something that they have to West Virginia. Pre-K is there, and so are the child tax credit payments. But there are some major changes. Now, the changes for pre-K, there are really none. There are changes for the child tax credit payments. First, Senator John Manchin doesn't want to extend the payment for a full 10 years because the payment could be very costly. It could cause massive inflation, which we know more about inflation in the next 10 years because on January 12 at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will have the new CPI data. Senator John Manchin also wants to either see, and there are two different options, that there is specific end date to the child tax credit payments, and they will not be extended past that even with the new legislation cannot be extended, or most likely option. These payments go to less people, meaning that the income is actually reduced. The income limit for individuals and families is drastically reduced, and the last number that I saw, and this was bad. They were still discussing the child tax credit payments was, what about $50,000 to $60,000 for couples? It means $25,000 to $30,000 for individuals. That could greatly lower the amount of people that qualify for this payment, which could ultimately lower the amount of money that goes out, so Senator John Manchin could be open to that idea. Now, according to opposite likely options, right now is that the Congress passes the Build Back Better Act without any child tax credit payment included. I know, from parents, I know for children that's going to be tons. But the reasons for this is if they pass the Build Back Better Act without the child tax credit payment, it's going to be make it easier for the Senate to pass it. Once this gets passed, the Democrats will renegotiate the entire bill and the provisions that didn't get passed, and they will ultimately make a child tax credit payment permanent feature sometime in the 2023 and beyond, probably for another 9 years. But in doing so, they will require Republicans to also jump on board, which as of right now, we know Senator Mitt Romney, he'll be on board, and there's probably a handful of others, but are there 10 Republicans that will jump on board? Probably not. Let's talk about the CDC and COVID, because this is news coming out today. The CDC is now considering asymptomatic people that test negative that right now. What we could see is they could break their isolation period now. The current guidance is people that are testing positive, you have to stay isolated for 5 days. Then, if you are vaccinated, if you are vaccinated or not, you can then go on about your day. But if you're still having symptoms, then you should either not isolate, but wear the mask, just wear mask for another 5 days. Because after 5 days, the CDC says your chances of your inflicting another person are very low. So right now the CDC is considering amending the rule to just include the testing. So people who don't show any sign of COVID, any symptoms, they could go back to work as soon as they test negative. And we have heard a lot of report on that today.